So today I have some channel exclusive spice for you. You won't find this anywhere else. And oh man, this is a tasty bombshell. Why do I say that? Well, because this declaration here from one Vince Jolivet, he's not just some nobody out there that overheard a few conversations. This guy, he had direct connection with many people alongside that nameless person. Why? Because, amongst other things, he dated Whitney, that nameless person's sister. Also, he produced movies for James Franco at Rabbit Bandai Productions. One of those movies is the Adderall Diaries. That put James Franco and that nameless person together. Yeah, he was in the know. Now, what he has to say about this, too, it directly refutes court evidence provided by that nameless person and their sister. This stuff, like I said, it is spicy. It is the type of bombshell material that you like to see. And this guy, I have to give him props too, because he could have taken the easy road. He could have remained silent about this stuff, but instead of doing that, he spoke up. So props to him. Bravo to that too. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day. This case, it just gets more and more interesting by the day, doesn't it? If you'd share this stuff far and wide, too, everyone should see this. Again, you won't see this anywhere else. At least this will be the source of it. Also, feed that pesky algorithm likes, comments. It also loves holding your hand. Oh, isn't that nice? Also, if you're subbed to the channel, make sure you're still subbed. And if you aren't, well, shiny buttons. Don't you love them? I do. Now, just to reiterate what I was saying at the beginning, I consider people like Vince Jolivet speaking out. I mean, that is brave. That is very, very brave. You know how people are these days? You know what people put on the line? And this guy, he isn't just some nobody. If you look up the production company that he's tied to here, you can see this here. You'll notice the key people attached. James Franco and who else? Vince Jolivet. Like I was saying at the beginning of this, too, if you jump in your way back machine, you go and you look up all the press on the Adderall Diaries, which starred James Franco and that certain nameless person. You start looking at the production credits, you'll notice James Franco is credited alongside Vince Jolivet. Now, the reason that I named all of that was twofold. Number one, I wanted to establish pedigree. I wanted to establish the connection with James Franco. That way you would have the indirect association with that nameless person, would have seen that nameless person in action, but also you would have this incidental contact, renting offices that would put him in contact with the nameless person's sister. From there, they get along. Basically, they start dating back in 2017. And he overhears quite a few things that other people overheard too. And that nameless person and that nameless person's sister, they tried to destroy them for talking about it. That brings up number two. Again, bravery. I cannot say that enough. It's easy to be quiet about something. You don't have to come forward, but in coming forward, you're doing the right things, and people, they deserve recognition for it. So thank you for doing that. Now, again, the declaration of one Vince Jolivet. Now, like I said, this is exclusive to the channel. You won't find it anywhere else, and I stake my reputation on it being real because my sources are 150,000,000% legit. Not only that, but this is unique in many, many ways. Why? Because from what I understand, this is Vince Jolivet's. These are his exact words. You didn't have him go in, say a few things, then get into a drafting back and forth with a lawyer. He provided his exact words. So yeah, I mean, that goes beyond and then some. So I hereby declare, under the penalty of perjury, that the following is based on my personal knowledge and is true and correct. Number one, I am the producer of films such as The Sound and the Fury, In Dubious Battle, and Child of God. There were 3 of hundreds of films that I and a staff of many people tirelessly made for James Franco at Rabbit Bandai Production. We have all since thankfully moved on. Now, I'm not sure exactly what he's saying with that, but I know exactly what's been going on with James Franco. It isn't just the stuff connected with that nameless person. Right now, there are a lot of accusations about him. And, well, some of the statements that he's made, they make it sound like he is admitting to some of this stuff. He deserves due process, too. But at the same time, well, he went in and he backed accusations, all without substantiation. And if somebody does that, yeah, when accusations, they start popping up about them, don't feel a lot of love for them. Still back due process, but don't feel a lot of love for them at all. Now, because of that, like I was saying, in 2016 here, because of this connection, they end up sharing offices with the charity Art of Elysium. Art of Elysium, that is backed by Jennifer Howe. If you haven't looked at all of her statements that she put out, you definitely should. This was the best friend of that nameless person's sister. So both of these people, they have connection with the nameless person's sister. And as he said, at the time, Whitney, that would be the nameless person's sister, was working there. Now, Whitney and I, we became friends, and then we dated in the summer of 2017. She was an extremely hard worker. She was smart, she was easy to talk to, and nice. Now, this next part is extremely important, and I'll tell you why while we're going through it. So, number 4, during a conversation we had in the spring of 2016, that's when Whitney ends up moving out of the Eastern Columbia building, no longer around that nameless person, no longer around JD. I asked Whitney why she had moved in with Jennifer Howe, the founder of the Art of Elysium. Now, that is important, by the way, because it confirms, number 1, Jennifer Howe had opened up her business. She had opened up her home, and she had opened up her heart to Whitney. She thought that they were best friends and that she was protecting Whitney from that nameless person. So this is what they had to say about that. Who lived 2 floors above my office. She relayed to me a story about having to stop her sister, that nameless person, from, I'm going to use the word accosting JD, and in the process, how that nameless person almost knocked her down a flight of stairs. Now that is the staircase or the stairwell incident, by the way. That incident, it is one that is referred to time and again by the media. It was referred to time and again in the UK because they were saying, hey, another person is backing up all of these stories about JD doing, well, that thing to that nameless person. Jennifer Howe, though, said, that's reverse. That's why I let her live in my home. You have another person that was dating her, that found her funny and attractive at that time, that's telling you that story, too. Again, how many other people can come out with this bombshell before it adds enough credibility that either, number 1, somebody actually listens to it, or number 2, somebody else, they end up breaking and they end up telling the truth. Now, there's another reason all of this stuff is bombshell too, and that's because, according to that nameless person, none of this exists. They tried to get Virginia 2022 thrown out by saying everything had been displayed in the UK 2020 trial. None of this stuff is out there. So this is like finding Loch Ness or Bigfoot. This stuff, man, bombshell spice. It goes directly against what that nameless person is saying. That is so good. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. As always, too, appreciate the heck out of you. You want to help the channel out? Links in the description. PayPal, Patreon, memberships, merchandise. You being here, though, that definitely does matter. So thank you. Appreciate you. We'll see you soon.